All right, Sean Strickland is the middleweight champion of the world. That is a sentence that no one would have believed 2 years ago, but that's the situation. We all know it. He went out there, he beat Izzy at his own game. He walked him down, he cut the cage off, he almost finished him in round one, and he kept on the pressure for 5 rounds, and that's it. It's all said and done. Sean Strickland's the man. Israel Adesanya is no longer the champion. However, what does Sean Strickland want to do next? Who does he want to fight? Well, there's lots of contenders. There's lots of potential challengers. There's lots of people that have a claim to challenging Sean Strickland. So we're going to go through some of them. Look, listen, at the post-fight press conference, Dana White already said it.
No, I think you do the rematch, absolutely. I mean, the rematch is interesting. That could be the thing, too. You know, when you think about you're going into the Pereira fight, such a big fight, you know, and you've been in there with this guy so many times, and then you overlook Strickland, and you come in, and you know, I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions, but Israel does, and I'm looking forward to hearing it.
He said it makes a lot of sense for Israel Adesanya to be the next man to challenge him, for him to have an immediate rematch. Well, because, listen, the schedule's been insane. He's defended the belt so many times. He's the second best middleweight of all time in UFC history, right behind Anderson Silva. That's just a fact if you look at the numbers. And he wants to do it again. His coach, Eugene Berman, said he will do it tomorrow. He will do it next week. He wants to get right back in there and get back at Sean Strickland. Now, when you look at all the contenders, and there is quite a lot of contenders, and there's some very, very good fighters with a decent claim, Israel Adesanya might be the best option for Sean Strickland. Why? Well, because he just beat him soundly. Eugene Berman even said himself that there's no excuses. Training camp went great, okay? And you can call it the trash talk or whatever from Sean Strickland talking about the dog stuff and whatnot that maybe threw him off. But he'll do it again the second time. He will talk even more shit. But more importantly, the biggest thing, the biggest reason, of course, Dana wants it, the promotion wants it, they call the shots. But more than anything, for Sean Strickland, that would be the biggest cash fight. Make no mistake, Israel Adesanya is a massive star, right? So a lot of people are going to tune in for the storyline. Look at what Izzy did the second time in MMA against Alex Pereira. A stunning knockout that gained the respect of fight fans all over the world for stepping right back in there. So there's a potential narrative that he'll do that again. There's no such thing as losses. You only learn in defeat and other cliches, right? But the reality is he's a big star and people would tune in, all jokes aside. So that would give Sean Strickland pay-per-view points, okay? That would make Sean Strickland a millionaire overnight. And maybe for Sean Strickland, he wants to put Israel Adesanya to bed once and for all. So there's option one. Option A, that makes the most money. And if you're speaking to the UFC, makes the most sense. Now, of course, there is other contenders. There's other people with a claim. We'll start with Jared Cannonier. Why does Jared Cannonier make sense? Well, he was the last person to beat Sean Strickland. A very, very close fight over 5 rounds, held at the Apex. And to be fair, it could have gone either way. Jared Cannonier got the win. You know, I wasn't sure. I didn't have a clue who was going to be the winner. It was one of those fights. Razor close on both sides. But Jared got the win. And guess what? Jared was the backup fighter in Sydney, Australia. And if you look at Colby Covington, he was the backup fighter for Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 3, right? And because he was the backup fighter, he's now going to challenge Leon. When that fight is going to go down, we don't know. Probably Madison Square Garden, co-main event to John Jones, Stipe Miocic, but we just don't know. But anyway, back to business. Yeah. Jared Cannonier's got a legitimate claim. Last man to beat him, and of course, was the backup fighter. So there's a storyline, there's a narrative, there's a reason. But when we look at it, there's also Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker's tremendous. Robert Whittaker versus Sean Strickland would be a very, very fun fight. And it'd be a tough fight for Strickland, let's be honest. In fact, all of these people are tough fights for Strickland. That's what makes it so impressive what Strickland did. Because he's not this guy that's got the most power, the sickest jiu-jitsu, the best wrestling, or none of that. But he's got a strongest fucking mind, okay? That's how he did it. That's how he beat Adesanya. Of course, great boxing, great defense, almost knocked him out in the first round. But when you put it all together, of course, the skills are great. The cardio was fantastic, but the mind is the ultimate weapon, and that's Sean's biggest weapon, Okay. Recently, I partnered with a company called Legacy Precious Metals. Now, I know a lot of people are going through tough times right now, but if you are fortunate enough to where you have a few dollars left over every month to think about investing, then maybe investing in gold and silver through Legacy Precious Metals might be for you. Now, the stock market, if you follow that stuff, it's all over the place. In fact, it's plummeting right now. But precious metals, they've always held their value or even increased. So, of course, that's something that we're all interested in. Does it have to be a lot of money? It can just be a little bit, because it all adds up over time. Now, if you click the link, there is a guide there. It'll tell you all about investing in gold and silver, or you can give them a call and they will answer all of your questions at 866-933-0317. So yeah, Robert Whittaker would be a tough fight for him, as I say, as would Marvin Vettori, as would be Paulo Costa, as would Khamzat Chimaev, okay? But Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev, they're going to fight. Now, maybe Chimaev goes out there and absolutely smokes Paulo Costa like he has done most of the other competition, being undefeated, being a massive star. Khamzat versus Sean Strickland, take my money. I'd love to see that. I'm sure Sean would take that, because you know why? Sean's got a fantastic ground game. We know it gets spoken about a lot, but we've never seen it. Khamzat would take him down. That's a fact. Sean could then go to town with the jiu-jitsu, and you never know. We might get to see a submission and the first person to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Okay, who else do we have? Well, here we go. It is the front runner, Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis is the #1 contender. He just knocked out Robert Whittaker. He was supposed to fight Izzy, but he came away from the fight. He withdrew because he was injured. He didn't want to fight Izzy whilst he was injured, of course, so he withdrew from the fight. That's how Sean got the position. That's how he got the chance. That's how he's the champion. And the #1 contender is Dricus du Plessis. And Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland, that'll just be fireworks. Because neither man, and I mean this with respect, neither man's like... They're both impressive martial artists. They've both got good grappling. They've both got good jiu-jitsu. They can both bang. They've both got knockout power. But they're not like guys that you look at and you think, wow, this is the second coming of Bruce Lee. They fight with their heart, okay? And that would make for such a sensational fight. And I would absolutely love to see it. I really would. Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland, you put that on any pay-per-view, anywhere in the world, it's going to sell out and people are going to watch that. And Sean Strickland, people are absolutely loving this guy. And rightly so. As I've said many times this week, he's done it the old-fashioned way, the hard way. He didn't get any shortcuts. What he's been through in his life, his terrible childhood, the things that he had to see as a child, the abusive parents, you know, to the motorcycle crash that almost finished his career, to then coming back, moving up a weight class, going on a 6-fight win streak, stepping up short notice, taking the last fight of the year in 2022, taking the first fight of the year in 2023. He literally paid his dues with blood, sweat and tears, and now he's here as the middleweight champion of the world. And the reality is, the champ gets the colder shots. Of course, it's the UFC's promotion. Dana is the ultimate boss man, but the champ does get a say. So who will Sean Strickland say? Dricus du Plessis, tough fight. Jared Cannonier, tough fight. Lost to him last time. Maybe he wants to fight Jared because he wants to get that one back, right? Robert Whittaker, he doesn't, not right now. He's not going to get that. He's coming off a loss. Love Robert, one win. He's in the conversation. Israel Adesanya, though, think about this. There's going to be a lot of people supporting Israel. There's a lot of people online saying that he doesn't deserve it. And I kind of understand that. Israel has lost 2 of his last 3, but he has been a workhorse. He is in good favor with the UFC. The UFC, they call the shots. And for Sean Strickland, as I said before, it gives him an opportunity to shut the door, okay? Because otherwise, he's going to be going around saying, he's ducking me. He doesn't want a rematch. He knows it was a fluke. This would be an opportunity for Sean Strickland to close that chapter, to say, I beat Israel Adesanya 2 times in a row and then become a very wealthy man in the process, showing real balls, stepping up to the plate once again, as usual, doing what the UFC want, gaining the good favor of the UFC, earning shit tons of money and the respect of fight fans all over the world. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya 2, that's probably what we're going to see. But I don't care. Jared Cannonier, whether it's Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland shows up, puts on entertaining fights. He's entertaining before the fight, after the fight, in the fight. Congratulations, champ. You're the man. I'm excited to see who it's going to be. But who do you think Sean Strickland fights next? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe and ring the bell. And thank you for watching.